Hear ye, hear ye. Today we're going to bring you a dissertation on how to win friends and influence people, and how not to win friends and influence people. That kind of is going to segue into a story by Shelley and Frankenstein. Okay, now this story takes place in the Swiss Alps of Bavaria, or the Bavarian Swiss Alps, or someplace over there, but not here. And let me tell you something. This story segues into the Frankenstein story perfectly because of the townsfolk. We'll get to that in a minute. So hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. This show is about to begin, and I want you to all understand that I have spent a great deal of time working on my notes for this show, probably 5 hours. So if you wish to say thank you in some form by posting a complimentary comment on my channel saying that this show was worth watching and share it with your friends and family, I would appreciate that muchly. So let me just talk about the story of Frankenstein and who is the author of Frankenstein. The original author was, I forget her name, Shelley Frankenstein, the monster. Boris Karloff was in there. Mary Shelley's 1818 novel, Frankenstein. I read everything about Frankenstein except the name of the author because I remembered that, but now I forgot it. So Mary Shelley's 1818 novel about Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus monster. Prometheus kind of means like a godlike monster, I think, but I'm pretty sure it does. But we're going to get involved with what the locals did to Henry. Henry Frankenstein was a local in the Bavarian Alps that created Frankenstein's monster, and the townsfolk were not happy about that. But first things first. Okay, so in the title, I talked about how to win friends and influence the locals with scathing restaurant reviews. First of all, that's a misnomer. That is exactly what you should never do in the Philippines or any small community that you may live in. But I do want to talk about nuclear catastrophes before I go into that. This is about as serious as it gets. Now, I'm going to talk about a man whose name I don't remember either, but I'm going to go to the article, and I'm going to give you the link to this video, okay? It's called San Andreas Fault Line and Nuclear, okay, San Andreas Fault, when the big one hits. Okay, now this is serious. Okay, now this man who does this video, he does an excellent review. I mean, this guy covers everything except the potential disaster of millions upon millions upon millions, or the entire west coast of the United States being destroyed or irradiated, and everybody on the west coast dying from nuclear waste exposure and nuclear power plants being destroyed if there was like a 9.0 on the Richter scale earthquake along the California coast. Now, I don't know why this guy forgot that. He talked about every other possible disaster that may or may not take place if there was a 9.0 earthquake on the California coast. You're going to have to forgive me for about 30 seconds. I have to stir my spaghetti. And this guy talked about every possible venue, everything that could possibly happen if there was an earthquake along the California coast. And then he forgot to talk about the nuclear power plants along the coastline and the nuclear storage facilities. So this is what I call government propaganda, and or the propaganda of fear-mongering by the United States government by what is known as I believe, shill. Okay, because this guy does a review. I'll tell you how many views he has on this San Andreas Fault. This is like probably the best video I've ever seen on the San Andreas Fault. He covers where it is, how long it is, how wide it is, how deep it is, how long it's been in existence, when the earthquakes occurred, when the biggest one occurred, when the next one is due. He covers every aspect from San Francisco, how many people died in 1908, how many people died 1,000 years ago from the San Andreas quake. Yet he forgot to add that there are 6 nuclear power plants from San Diego to San Francisco, and even more radioactive waste sites and dumps. And one of them is right like 100 feet from the ocean itself. I think that was the San Diablo nuclear power plant waste facility, where they put these stainless steel canisters. So this, I will show you the guy. Excellent review. Except he forgot the most important thing. This guy he got 247,000 views in 4 days. That's 250,000 views. He got 11,000 thumbs up and 226 down. And I've read most of the comments on this, and not a single person in the entire comment section as of last night or yesterday afternoon, not one person mentioned the 6 nuclear power plants on the San Andreas Fault, plus not just nuclear power plants, but nuclear storage facilities and hydroelectric power plants, which all the power for the West Coast comes from some sort of electrical generating plant on the San Andreas Fault. And it's a big quake, all nuclear waste and nuclear power plant cores and reactors and everything, they would all fall apart, and there would be like 6 Fukushimas from the power plants and then another dozen Fukushimas from the radioactive waste sites. How does that happen? How does that happen with a guy that gets 250,000 views, puts out the best review on the San Andreas Fault? How did he forget the nuclear power plants along the San Andreas Fault? I mean, how could he possibly forget? He talked about water lines being disconnected. He talked about roads being destroyed. He talked about 80% of all high-rise buildings collapsing into their own footprint. He talked about no medicine. He talked about no hospitals, no schools, no airports. He talked about everything except nuclear power plant. That's because nuclear power, the people that run the nuclear power, first, they are in total control of what's said for or against them in the media. And there's a reason for that. The reason is nobody in the nuclear power industry, not a single person that's involved with nuclear power plant building, nuclear electrical generation, nuclear disasters, nobody wants you to understand how deadly the radiation could be if there was a problem and a nuclear power plant went wild, and then downwind, the radiation went to the next nuclear power plant in a valley 40 or 50 miles away. Nobody can control this stuff. Look at what they said. Fukushima would be under control in 2 or 3 weeks. It's what now, 10 years almost, 9 years? And what about Russia? You can go to the Russian nuclear disaster. You can go in there for a couple of hours or a day, depending on where you go, but they still can't get, they can go into the core, but that how much damage was done. And 300 tons of radioactive water is being dumped into the Fukushima Bay every day from the rainwater that seeps through the soil and underwater, underwater aquifers. And what about all the nuclear waste that were left in the Bikini Atoll and the dome? Look up the dome, Bikini Atoll, and look up the operation that started 23 thermonuclear blasts in the Pacific Islands known as the Marshall Islands. And you could look it up by either looking up the term Operation Bravo, because that was the biggest nuclear bomb set off. It was a 3-stage thermonuclear weapon, or you could look it up by looking up Operation Crossroads, which was one of the code names or the code name for the entire operation, but the operation started with the first nuclear test, and that was called Operation Gilda. Okay, Gilda. That was the first thermonuclear weapon set off in the Bikini Atoll in a beautiful lagoon, and it was 15 megatons or something like that, and that was the start of the first of 23. So then they left all that radioactive waste. They left all the radioactive plutonium that one of the bombs didn't go off. It was a dud. And they left all of that crap in a hole. They put it all in a hole after they had like 10,000 American soldiers and other people from that part of the world pick up the nuclear waste with their bare hands. They knew it would kill them. They just didn't know how long. So they did live human guinea pig experiments with 10,000 soldiers. They sent them in there with shorts and a pair of boots and a T-shirt and bulldozers to grab all this radioactive soil and parts and put it in a hole made from a nuclear explosion, and with no bottom liner, no side liner, and they just put a cap on it, and they know the water's been running through that hole since 1977. So the first nuclear reaction went off on April 12th of 1945. That was Operation Gilda. And then they did 23 more. And then they couldn't go back there, even though they displaced the citizens of the Marshall Islands, or a good portion of them, said they'd be back in 2 weeks. It's now 75 years, and they can't go back. And now they have all that crap underneath something that was known as the dome, that was 150 feet from the ocean, and now it's like 60 feet from the ocean. But it doesn't matter, because they dumped all that nuclear waste in a coral hole, a hole of coral, and the water has been flowing through the coral like water through a sponge since 1977. So it took 30 plus years to get to the nuclear waste before they could touch it without dying instantly. 10,000 soldiers got radiation poisoning. Most of them died of cancer or some other form of ailment associated with radiation poisoning. They never said anything. And because it wasn't wartime, and because it wasn't wartime, none of those 10,000 soldiers could have their medical expenses paid for by the United States government, even though the government knew they were sending these people into a radioactive disaster zone where they were told to just pick up pieces of plutonium the size of a Zippo cigarette lighter. That's the way they showed it on the video. And pick those pieces up with your hand, put them in a plastic bag, and then carry them over to a pile, and then we'll pick the pile up with a bulldozer, and we'll take the bulldozer and put it on a landing craft and do all the dust and and we'll take the landing craft from one island to the other, and dump it into the hole. All of those people are dead or dying of radiation poisoning. And the government won't give them $1 for medical expenses. So this guy knows the same thing that I know about the nuclear waste, but he doesn't say a word, and he gets 250,000 views on some worthless video because he didn't tell the most important part of the story. And that brings me to my notes. There we go. That was my dissertation. And I'm going to add one more thing. I told you people 10 years ago that on the dollar bill, you can believe it or not, it talks about the beginning of the new era or new time or new world order as the period that when the Great Pyramid was built. The people who built, beings that built, entities that built the Great Pyramid, they knew they were going to create a civilization. And then the eagle, it's not just an eagle, it's an Indian with a bow and arrow in its dexter and sinister claw. I told you that they were going to destroy the world with nuclear waste and or nuclear bombs or nuclear energy. And you look around you, there are thousands upon thousands of nuclear dump sites that they can't get rid of the radiation, and hundreds, if not thousands, of those nuclear test sites are leaking immense amounts of radiation, so bad that they can't control it and they can't fix it, aka Fukushima caused the core meltdown. Plus, the Los Alamos nuclear test site dumping ground, that they have like 20 containers the size of those giant water towers, not water towers, but they look like a giant 55-gallon drum, but they're buried in the earth, like 1 million gallon containers from 1940s. Some of them are double walled, and some of the double walls are leaking out into the river, into the closest rivers and aquifers. And they don't tell you about that. And they can't get it out of those containers because if they hit it with a jackhammer, because it got hard like concrete, it'll blow up. They can't scratch it out, they can't dig it out, and they don't have the funding, they said, to dig underneath it and around it. Plus, it's too dangerous. They are going to kill everybody with nuclear waste and or disasters. And now let's go to my notes. And we're going to get to today's topic, how to win friends and influence people with scathing and or non-scathing restaurant reviews. And what I'm going to talk about today is the crab mentality. And Digger is starring in this video because Digger is a guy that digs holes in the bottom of the bottom of the flat earth with this spoon. He's a very big hole digger, and sometimes Digger digs for gold, and sometimes Digger digs for element 115, and sometimes Digger just digs a hole so he can crawl into it, and then they have to pull him out by his bootstraps. So Digger 1, here is Digger 1. Ding, ding, ding. Now, if you decide that you like this video, please share this video. Notify your friends that this video is up. And I am one of the first people, I am the first person to ever tell you that the Skull and Bones, aka the Yale Skull and Bones logos, is on the dollar bill. No one ever said it before. No one has ever said it after. They are afraid to do so. And I am the first person in the history of the world to write a book that there's a pictograph of the Ark of the Covenant on the dollar bill. And I am the first person in the entire world to show you the full-size owl, 2 3/8 of an inch, all of which the owl and the skull and bones you can see on my homepage. And then we have to give Mr. Willis a shout out. Mr. Willis is back on my Patreon page after a 5-month hiatus. He was a member for 9 months before that. Him and I talked about it. He had no more interest in coming to the Philippines because of the lockdown at some point. And now Mr. Willis is back, so we'll give Mr. Willis a big shout out. Another Patreon member that left and returned. 2 or 3 people have done that in the ding, 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 ding. and Robert Greene, who donated quite a bit of money. And in his 4-month tenure at Patreon, thank you very much, Mr. Willis and Robert Greene. Bang, bang, bang. Bang, bang, bang. And now let's watch the hole that Digger One digs with the locals by writing scathing, and I mean scathing, absolutely scathing, restaurant reviews by bull mentality. You don't have a clue what it's like living in the Philippines until you live here. You have no idea. And I could tell you stories of how many friends I have here. You could believe it, not believe it. It has no idea. Because I don't piss off the locals. In fact, I can't get down the damn block, even for kilometers away from my house, without everybody wanting to stop and say hello. And am I blogging today? And they want to get on a blog, and they want to give me a high five, and they want me to stop in and say hello, not necessarily to buy anything, because I'm friendly with the local. All the contractors allow me to go onto their job site and talk to their men for 5 or 6 minutes. All the contractors on a construction site without any problems at all. All the restaurants are welcome me into the restaurant, knowing that I'm not going to give them a bad review, because that's not what you do in the Philippines, baby. Ding, ding, ding dong, the witch is dead, the wicked witch is dead. Now let's get on with the show. I got to get to my notes. I got one show note done so far, and I should put my meat, sausages, and eggplant into my spaghetti. That's done. I want to let that stuff marry each other. Let's see if I still even have a live stream. And I have a live stream. Yeah, babe. Oop, I better not bang anything. Okay. Warren Hunt is in here. Oh, my God. Louis Pagan Ponce. Ah, Louis, thank you. I'm waiting for those questions that you promised me, Louis. I will give it my best shot to help you. That is true. Louis, feel free to ask me any questions you like, except that thing with the underwear. So, Cecil Shoemaker, the West Coast is dying of methane from all the bullshit they are putting out. You know, Cecil, I lived in San Diego I spent 2 months in San Diego the summer of 1970. You could see from the house that I lived in, I lived at 1050 Golden Trail, Vista, California. Now, from 1050 Golden Trail, that property was 6 acres. It was a horse farm and a cacti farm. I could see the racetrack from the house. No problem. I mean, you know, it just wasn't a problem. It was several miles, but you could see it on a clear day. Now, I went back there in 1990 when I toured the United States, and you couldn't see Carlsbad Racetrack on a clear day because of the smog. But there was smog back in the 70s when I remember working in San Diego. I worked at 2304 Rio Drive. It was a family lumpia company. And I worked at a Smart and Final. I helped build a Smart and Final. That was when one of their first stores. It's like a Costco. And there was pollution back then, but nothing compared to the 1990s. And I've not been there since the spring of 91. But they were destroying the West Coast with pollution even back then. So, Cecil, that was a great comment, and I agree with you. And also, you got to remember that one of the reasons for the smog is because the way the wind blows in off the ocean, it kind of wraps around the mountains. It has no place to go. That's one reason. And the second reason is California doesn't get Southern California in San Diego and Los Angeles doesn't get a lot of rain. So it doesn't knock the smog out of the atmosphere. Thanks for the comment, Cecil. Okay, next, I'm doing fine. Optimism. Thank you. Louis Paganpons, I have been busy as of late, but I always check from time to time. Hope all is well with you. Ensure you put a patent on your face shield. LOL. I got to tell you, everybody wants a selfie with me in the face shield. I was even in the Internal Revenue office, and people were coming over and asking if they could get a selfie with me putting the water container on my head. Where is that thing? Anyway, I'll find that. If I would put it on my head, and they wanted a selfie. I got it right here. No, that's not it. That's not it. Wow, I got so many of those things. That I can't find that one, but I got more. I got a different kind. And they all wanted selfies. I must have it outside. I know what I did. I went to the stores yesterday and I wore it to the stores. Yeah, thank you, Louis. Hey, Michael. And all in the chat says Warren Hunt. Welcome to the machine, Warren Hunt. Welcome to the machine. And friends, because, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to understand something. I've been saying it for 6 weeks. I want you to believe me. I want you to know I'm telling you the truth. And I want you to be clear on this. Right now, there are, in my head, I will count 1, 2. These are the amount of police agencies that are watching videos coming from the Philippines and have monitored every video for the last 6 weeks or 7 weeks. You don't believe me. You don't understand. Very few things that I've ever said to anybody is not 100% accurate. But I will tell you that Scotland Yard, Interpol, 2 different agencies in Australia, and 2 different agencies in the Philippines have people monitoring our videos. Not just my videos, but our videos. So if you think you can post some kind of bullshit video up on YouTube and then take it down, like the one where somebody sent me a video the other day. Fazio and Warren Hunt, I'm going to fucking get you. Yeah, huh? Is that true? Did you really post that shit on YouTube? That was being monitored. All of that shit is being monitored. All of it. Every word of it. But if you continue to do so, let's get Digger out here. Digger, what do you want to do? Let's dig a hole, Fazio. Let's Rabbi Chewbacca to you today. Rabbi Chewbacca. Here we go. Bang, 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 bang. And this is also a shout out to Louis Paganpons for the thank you for the super chat. Now, one more thing you should understand is that the videos that have been recorded, I get 2 thumbs up typically. If not, everybody gives me a thumbs up. Because if there's only one guy reviewing the videos, I can only get 2 thumbs up. But if there's 6 or 7 guys, they go, that guy, he's something else, that guy, that rabbi guy. He got a way of words. And not only that, those guys, one thing they get a kick out of is when I bang the pot and I tell them I make a lot. And as for those amateurs out there, as for the amateurs, all have tried, none have succeeded to bang a pot and make a lot. We even have new guys trying to bang a pot. How foolish they look banging those little teeny tiny pots on YouTube, baby. Bang a pot, make a lot. Bang a pot, make a lot. Santa Claus is coming to town. Now we put the good side of the pot, the smart side. Money. Money. Bang a pot, make a lot. Okay, enough of that shit. Let's get to the notes. I think I got like 3 comments, and I got 10 pages of notes today. I'm not going to touch this table. Okay, Lewis, thank you. Warren, what's up? Lewis Paganpots, Russia has a heap of decommissioned nuke subs sitting in idle and rusting away in the Black Sea base. I'm sure they do. What they can't even get these. Do you know that it takes 3 years to change a nuclear reactor on an aircraft carrier? And that's guys working 24/7. That's how complicated these machines are. And let me tell you something else about nuclear waste while we're on the subject. While I'm on the subject, because whatever I talk about, that's what's important. Nothing compared to Henry Frankenstein and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein novel, because that shit's coming up. We're going to talk about the crab mentality of the locals when you piss off the locals. You should not piss off the locals. But now it's international, so it doesn't really matter. You've pissed everybody off. I mean, you piss everybody off. I mean, I would piss everybody off. I mean, anybody would piss everybody off writing a scathing restaurant review for the guy down the block. Really? And you think you could get away with that shit in the Philippines? You can't get away with that shit in the Philippines. One Filipino, just one Filipino, just one. Piss off just one of the most insignificant laborers on a job site with 50 Filipinos on the job site. Go ahead and try it and watch what happens. 49 men that you've been friends with for 2 or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years will not even look at you when you come on the job site the next time, and the boss will tell you, please don't come on the job site. Go ahead and piss off just one worker on one job site and watch the locals how they turn on you. And you think you could throw reviews up, scathing reviews of restaurants on YouTube and get away with that shit? You cannot get away with that shit. And when you're dealing with Filipinos in the crab mentality. And that's why when I go to a restaurant and I don't enjoy it, I might make mention of some insignificant little setback that they did without mentioning the name of the restaurant, and then say I'm not going there anymore. That I might do. That I have done. But, if I don't like a restaurant in the local area, I don't go around posting shit all over the internet and pissing off the locals. Got to tell you, that's just wrong. And I'm going to tell you why in a few minutes. I'm going to give you an exact story of what happened to me when I got one local upset, 7 years ago, when he asked me for money and I declined. I should have just walked away without saying anything. 7 years ago, where I was best friends with a guy, and we were friends for like months, and we went swimming together, and we went out on the boat together, and one day he asked me to borrow money, and I said no. Paul didn't get upset about it or anything like that, and he got mad at me, and then nobody talked to me. Just because I became his friend and then wouldn't lend the money. And it wasn't a small amount of money. You cannot, he got upset. Okay, I could understand he needed money. But I didn't do anything wrong. I just didn't lend money to somebody that couldn't pay me money back. And then he mentioned something about my pension. And I said, regardless of how much money I have saved, or regardless of whether or not I have a pension, I'm not going to lend you the money because you won't be able to pay it back. And what do you want it for to begin with? And I just, when I realized what he wanted it for, I didn't think I could never get a return on my money. And I'm not going to go into the loan business. And I don't want to deal with it. And because I didn't loan that one guy money after I knew everybody in the entire community, nobody talked to me for in that particular place that I lived, probably 4 months that I lived there, and probably 3 more months that I lived there. And after that, whenever I went to the beach, everybody just looked the other way. They didn't get mad at me. They didn't say anything. But I pissed off a local by not lending him money. Had I said anything bad about him on YouTube, oh my God, it would have been a disaster. I wouldn't have been able to leave my house. You can't piss off the locals when they got the Philippines community is a very tight-knit community. All righty, the Philippines experience. Whoa, we have the Philippines experience. Oh my God. There's a man that's working 70 and 80 hours a week. Thank you for stopping by, Gary. I appreciate that. Thank you. We have some trolls here. Thanks for knocking that shit out of the ballpark. Gary, my Philippines experience. Now, if you don't know who my Philippines experience is and you're watching this video, okay, so Gary is a very, very, very cool blogger. And he's got a very, very cool girlfriend named Sha, S-H-A. And they have a channel called the Philippines Experience. Now, they do zip lines, they do walkabouts, they do reviews of mountain climbing, they do reviews of restaurants, they walk down the street, they interact with the people in the hotel. Gary has a much better channel than most other people in the Philippines blogging community. And his girlfriend, who he's going to get married to when he comes back to the Philippines, Sha, she does her own videos and she drives her own, well, Gary and her own a multi-cab, one of those three-wheel multi-cabs, and she drives it down the road like a champ. She got her own little driving gloves, and then she'll go to a restaurant and she kind of like very proud Filipina. She takes over the restaurant. I want to sit here. I want this. I want that over there. And she takes control of the situation, but in an intelligent manner, and gets a job done. Like Chris in Cebu says, she gets the job done. She makes a great vlog. So if you got some time and you want to visit a great channel, the Philippines Experience is probably, in my opinion, it might very well be the best Philippines blogging channel in the Philippines community. Mine certainly is not. And the other people that thinks theirs are certainly are not. I can't think. If someone wants to throw something up there at me, I'd be happy to give them a shout out. But to be honest, I don't know another blogger. Well, there are other people that get a lot more views, but I gotta tell you, there's some guys that get a lot more views that I don't know about them guys. I think they're a little creepy, to be honest with you. Not Gary, but I think them other guys. I think they're a little creepy. They all stick together like white on rice, and they all have a tendency to hang out on the Ladyboy Lovers channel. And then there might be some insignificant or some significant, innuendo to that. I don't know, but I have not watched the Ladyboy Lovers channel in 3 years. I have no interest. I mean, I haven't even watched 10 seconds of it, but I get a lot of people send me back reports. This guy's talking about you, that guy's talking about you. And those other channels, they get a lot more views than any of us. They're kind of creepy in and of itself, the way they move around on other people's channels. And one guy will come on under the name of Henry. No, that's a bad one, because I like Henry from Beyond the Sea. Elmer will come on and he'll say, hey, so-and-so, how you doing? And everybody knows who Elmer is, even though Elmer hangs out on the creepiest of the YouTube channels. And I personally think Elmer's a little creepy, and I think that he has the, I think he has the potential to enjoy the Ladyboy Lovers channel for more than one reason, shall we say. But anyway, Elmer goes to the Ladyboy Lovers channel and says hello. And then all of a sudden, you got Elmer Fudd comes on and says, hey, Elmer, how you doing? Have you ever heard of Elmer Fudd Todsky? And Elmer says, yeah, I heard of Elmer Fudd Todsky. He's got a great blogging channel. And they all do that with each other. There's about 5 of them. One guy comes on, has a fake account asking you about a third account that's real, and then a fourth account come on and says, I think they all got something going with each other, and it all revolves around the LGBTQTXZY channel and something that has to do internally or externally in the creepy part of the Philippines blogging community, aka Manila, Angeles City, and the Ladyboy Lovers channel, because they all love to go on the Ladyboy Lovers channel. Maybe there's more to it than meets the eye. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. And let's see who else we got here. Thanks for stopping by, Gary. We are fine, Warren. Okay, they're talking to each other. And Louis Paganpont says something, and I have to get back up there. Simo Travels, another long-term friend, and donated to the channel. Thank you for stopping by, Simo. Simo knows the value of walking backwards. Now, we'll get into the medical aspect and why it's good for you to walk backwards. Plus, it helps you catch the jeepney when you're going in a certain direction. Okay, so hello, Michael. Not only do I walk backwards, I drive in reverse everywhere I go. So this is another quantifying experience of real men. Real men walk backwards. Real men drive their cars backwards. Real men have motorcycles with a reverse on them. That's right, baby. I drove around Bantayan Island in reverse. That is a great place. I've heard that Bantayan Island has some of the best beaches in the Philippines. And I'm not being, that's not the kind of beach I like. But I have heard vlogs about Bantayan Island having some of the most beautiful white sand beaches in the Philippines. Now, as white sand beaches go, it probably does. And what makes a white sand beach? White sand. But the thing I like about Bohol, and more specifically the Alona Beach area, is you walk off the shoreline, and it's whatever's left from the last 7 or 8 typhoons of white sand. You walk into a trough that has a mean depth of 9 feet at high water. And then you go out about 350 feet and you hit a coral reef. And then at the reef, then there's a drop to about 60 feet, 20 meters. Now, so the white sand beach in Alona Beach is only at best 100 feet long. But Bantayan Island has white sand beaches that are 200 feet of white sand. And then when the tide goes out, it's a very shallow drop off. I don't know where the deep starts in Bantayan Island. It could be like Rockaway Beach or Jones's Beach, where it's just a very gradual drop off to where even a mile offshore, it's only 20 feet deep. I have never looked at a chart there, but yeah, it does have some beautiful beaches. Thanks for mentioning that. One day I look forward to going there. Warren and I are talking about going there. And because a person offered us, they said it was a white sand beach, 2 lots, no rent. We just put a building up, a hotel, and we can have the property for 20 years for no rent. So Warren and I have a plan to go there. And that's why that's not the kind of beach I would want to live on. That long beach where you have to swim 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet to get. And on that sand at low tide, you're not going to see anything except bottom fish, maybe a nurse shark or a flounder or a fluke, but you won't see like a grouper. Like where I live in Alona Beach, or that area, you go outside the reef and you go down to 20 meters and you're going to see grouper, you're going to see brown marble grouper, you're going to see black grouper, you're going to just see what they call jewfish, Jew, jewfish. Now they get really big, and it's in the grouper family, but you won't see a really big one here. But in Florida, they're a protected species. Those things get as big as a refrigerator. I don't like the white sand because it's a very bland dive experience to get to the deep where there's sea life. Coral. I like coral. I like big fish. I like to see a barracuda. There's advantages to that beach and disadvantages. So, uh, but we'll check it out. Warren and I will check it out when he gets here, and if we decide to go ahead, we'll take the property and we'll sign a lease, and we'll build a hotel over there too. Let's see. Warren is Sincimo Travels. Yep. Warren, you know the odometer doesn't go backwards. It always goes forwards. I know a few guys who can't believe you make $1,000 for a haircut too. That's true. There are people. Hey, you know what? Those guys, the agencies that I talked about before, the 7 different national, international, and local police agencies. I was told that they were sent my video about how this guy made 47,500 pesos to get a haircut on YouTube, and they go, no way. And I was also told that they have a favorite video. I wouldn't mention the name of that video on this vlog, but I will tell you, it has to do with the GAC and the GAC, the curse of the GAC, the GAC, the GAC. I mean, the GAC. I talked about the GAC. The GAC video is one of the most well passed around videos in all of the Philippines blogging community, and they just can't get over that fucking video. And there are now 2 versions of the GAC. I got to tell you, because we're going to talk about the GAC video, and we're going to talk about the GAC, the curse of the GAC, when I get to my show notes. So far, I haven't gotten to the first show note. Just bear with me a few hours, and I will get to that. Okay, so okay, I lost Warren. Finally, the Bantayan. Did that really happen, Sincimo? Really? Wow, that's interesting. I didn't notice. I don't notice everything. I've been off YouTube. Got to tell you what I've been doing the last few days. Poof. God, holy macaroni. I got a video of what I've been doing for 5 days now. I could show it to you. For 5 days now, but if I turn this, I'm afraid to turn it off. For 5 days now, I had a little thing I had to do. I guess I shouldn't show it to you. Anyway, it was freaking hot. So when I left in the morning, the only reason I came back was there was a big fiesta party last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I have about, not much, 12 minutes of video, 13 minutes of video from the fiesta party itself, because, that gets old. When I first walked in and everybody greeted me and please sit down, eat, have a drink. I don't drink, but I did that. And then I had something that I had to do. It was really hot where I did this thing. And I just, because I'm in relatively good shape and the heat doesn't bother me, I worked outside in the heat in the hottest part of the day from the morning till the afternoon, and for like 6 hours. I could only go 6 hours. And at the end of 6 hours, I have to tell you, I was hot. I probably poured 15 gallons of water on me at the end of the day to cool off, because by 3 o'clock, it had reached the point where I was not tired physically, but heat tired, heat exhaustion, they call that. So I did that. And then today is Sunday, Friday, September 5th was a big party here. I'm talking a big party. I'm talking 500 free meals for the locals, which, by the way, I'm not even gonna say it. But if it wasn't for me, those 500 and me and three other people, those 500 free meals would not have been distributed. So that you could take that to the bank. Warren knows all about it. So those people that I have the video of the meals, there are baskets of meals, about 30 inches in diameter, about 15 inches high. I have a video of probably 50 children going to get a meal and 50 children and adults going and coming back from getting a meal. And then I videotaped the meals themselves and the people distributing the meals, but what they had met, they did not and they were as much of making those meals happen as the owner of itself. So there were probably, I think, well, with the adult venue, which I videotaped it in its entirety, there was a 50-kilo bag of rice that was gone before 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So, and there was another 50-kilo bag that they were cooking up in 4-gallon pots and 3-gallon pots. So that was an interesting party. I had one meal and then I went back to doing what I was doing because everybody wants me to have more food and it's wrong and drink. And I don't drink, but if anybody ever gets to see that video, I'm going to give it to Warren and about 11 other close friends. I might not even put that on my Patreon account. I might, but at the $50 level. If I do put that up, I want some of my friends to send it to some of their friends to let people know that there are people in the Philippines community that don't go around pissing everybody off. And Michael, come on, drink, Colin. And they just love me here. And that's different than pissing everybody off and pissing off the locals and writing scathing reviews of restaurants where you live. Dudes and dudettes, don't do that. Don't do that. Now, let's see if we get through some more comments here. We're almost at the 53-minute mark. Sin Simo Travel Vlogs. Sin Simo. I love the Philippines genre. I hate the Bantayan beaches. Okay, so that's okay for me. That I don't particularly care for the beaches either. The Philippines experience. Thank you for the shout out, my friend Gary. You are welcome, and that's all the truth. Gary, when somebody deserves the highest accolades, you got to give it to them, or you're not telling the truth. And there's one thing I like to do on my channel is disseminate the truth. And here's another fucking piece of truth. Here's another piece of truth for that ass clown channel that allowed people to tell people that I was a felon in the comments section. What was the name of that guy? 1 foot a turd, 1 turd a foot, 1 foot turd, and the other guy, Johnny Turdball. For that ass clown that allowed those people to call me a felon without correcting them, that was wrong. You never come back. I've heard stories about you talking shit, saying, it's just YouTube. It ain't just YouTube when you accuse somebody of being a felon. And for the original creator of the video, which is called, it starts, I don't know if I should give you the name of the video or not. It is in the hands of the authorities. They are, in fact, making recommendations because of the video that someone accused me of being a felon, and I'm not. And getting arrested for a felony and getting convicted of a felony, two different things. Accusing somebody of getting arrested for a felony and being a felon, that's two different things. That was a big effing mistake. And there will be consequences for that mistake. And that video is going with the video saying, Fazio and fucking Warren Hunt, I'm gonna fuck you. Those two videos are going together. And then we'll see what happens at the end of the day. And how many fucking holes can somebody dig? Digger, come on over here. How many holes can this guy dig? Can this channel dig? How many fucking holes? Yeah, I'm a digger. I'm a digger. I'm a digger. I'm a digging. I'm a digging. I'm a digging. I'm a digging, 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 digging. I'm digging holes. I'm digging holes. I'm digging holes. I'm banging the pot. I'm banging the pot. I'm digging holes. I'm digging. I am digger one. I am digger one. I have a diaper. I have my diaper. I have a diaper. Oh, this is digger one. Well, you know this is digger one because digger one is always digging holes. And he's very famous all over the world for digging holes everywhere he goes. And that's why digger one is in bracelets, silver bracelets. So he can't dig holes because what happens? I had digger one in school a few weeks ago. He was learning nuclear physics, particle physics. He's trying to figure out whether Einstein was right or not. But that's not the point of this conversation. The point is Digger's in school. He already got a degree. He got a degree in math. He got a degree in science, trigonometry, and like several other things. But the problem is when I brought Digger to the institute, he does a whole college course in like every time the teacher goes out to take the erasers with the chalk on them and bring them to the eraser room and bang the chalk off the erasers. Every time that happens, Digger disappears from the classroom and goes out, finds some nice soft dirt like in the football fields, and starts digging a hole on the bottom of the top of the flat earth or the top of the bottom of the top of the flat earth. And he digs these holes where then it takes 2 or 3 or 4 expert so-called professionals to dig him out of the hole he dug on just that given day. So what I found is that if I put Digger in chains, he can't go out and dig such deep holes so fast that we can't grab him by the bootstraps and pull him back out. And what happens is when you pull him by the bootstraps, his little feet stay light up because they're like happy feet. They're like a dancing happy feet, right, Digger? That's right. That's right. Rabbi Chewbacca. Okay, so let's go back. We'll welcome Gary. That's where we left off. Sensimo Travel Blogs. Hello, my friend. How are you? Warren Sensimo, I hear you, bro. What a year has and been, and see the Victoria police dressed like paramilitary. That is trippy, yeah? That is trippy. In fact, I'm going to tell you something. Sensimo Travel Blogs. Warren, whoa, I see Super Chat. Thank you, Gary, but I'm not to that yet, but thank you. And Scott Del Fuego is in the house. When Sensimo, thank you very much, Gary. Salamat. Let's give Gary bang a little pot. Digger. We're going to make a song up for Gary right now. The Philippines Experience. He's the best blogger and blog it. Gary and Shaw. They know how to blog. The Philippines Experience. He does zip lines. He does shoreline. He does forest trails. He goes restaurants. He never says anything negative about the restaurants he blogs from. He never talks about flies on the food at his best friend's daughter's birthday party and why he won't eat the cake. Gary, don't do that. And Gary, also don't walk into a birthday party for a 10-year-old child and say, look over there, look over there. See that guy? That's the girl's daddy. But he's an alcoholic. Gary, don't do that. Gary, don't do that. Shaw, don't do that. I don't do that. Warren, don't do that. Scott Fuego, don't do that. Other people do that. Who would do that? Not a real man. A real man. I'll just do one show note. I got 112 show notes. I'm going to do one. A real man doesn't walk into a 10-year-old's birthday party and then show the garbage in the backyard and mention the fact that there's 10,000 flies on the garbage. And then go, while he's making the video of the birthday party itself, I'm not going to eat any of this cake here. There's flies on everything. Real men don't do that. Gary would never do that. Shaw would never do that. I would never do that. And then, to make matters worse, a real man doesn't walk away from the flies in the backyard and go, I'm not going to eat any of that cake. It's got flies all over it. Doesn't walk into the front yard and say, oh, there's the girl's dad. And he's an alcoholic. Whoa. And leave that. And you post that shit on YouTube. Real men don't do that. Real men don't dig holes that the locals will want to do a Henry Frankenstein on you. They will want to tar and feather you. They will want to make you go away from their little town. How would you like it if someone said blah, 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 blah about you and or your daughter and put it on social media? Digger would not like that. He'd have to dig into the hole. Oh, Gary would never do that. Gary would never do that. Money. Shaw would never do that. Shaw would never do that. Some people have more sense than others. You do not piss off the locals. You do not make bad reviews about the locals' businesses. You just don't do that. I got to tell you. I was laughing my ass off. I was just laughing my ass off. Do you have any idea? I told you 7 years ago when a guy asked me to borrow money and I wouldn't lend him money. First of all, I wasn't even staying in the apartment I was in for more than another month or so. So I would have to go back. I might even have moved to Palawan at that point. I would have just kissed that money goodbye. Why am I giving some stranger, basically, who had a fishing boat, but why would I give some stranger some extremely large amount of money? They don't even know. They can't give you anything of any value. You can't take their boat away from them. What would you do with it anyway, even if they signed it over to you? You wouldn't be able to use it. Somebody else would. You have no way of assuring that if you lend somebody money in the Philippines, you're going to get it back. It's just not going to happen. Just kiss it goodbye. But I didn't even do anything wrong. I just didn't loan somebody money who could never pay me back. And I got to tell you, pissed off every fisherman on the entire beach. And this is going back into the beginning of 2014. I didn't do anything wrong. I just didn't lend somebody money that could never pay me back. Basically, I didn't give somebody a large sum of money, enough money for me to live on in the apartment that I was living in. I'll tell you exactly, 4 months. 4 months of rent and 4 months of food. And I could tell you why he wanted me to lend him the money, but I wouldn't tell you that, because that shit is that would be wrong. That would be wrong. But you don't piss off the locals. So now, thank you, Gary, for the super chat. All right, I'm gonna pass up a lot of comments because I got a lot to go. Scott Del Fuego, like a jaguar, like a jaguar. I watched a show on jaguars, 7 families of lions. There's 2 different types of jaguars, and there's 2 different types of jaguars. And the bobcat, and then there's the lion. The king of the jungle has the one with the big mane, and then there's a lion that has no mane, and then there's the female lion that doesn't have mane, and then there was a snow leopard. I think there are 7 classes of cats, big cats, and the thing that makes a lion is the voice box, the roar. So jaguars can't roar, bobcats can't roar, and there was one other that can't roar, but lions can roar. Talking about jaguars, I watch a lot of stuff on YouTube. I try to diversify my time on YouTube. So the thing that makes a lion, even though there are 7 classifications of big cats, lynx I don't think was in there. Now, lynx was not, I don't remember seeing the word lynx, but the thing that makes a lion is the roar. I thought that was interesting because I never knew that until last week. So Scott Del Fuego is wordsmithing. Salamat. Let's get a little pot going here. Scott Del Fuego is one of my he's the best wordsmith on my page. Let's jump together, baby. Scott Del Fuego, he's my friend. Scott Del Fuego, those things you would not believe. Scott Del Fuego is a real man. Yes, indeed. All right, Scott Del Fuego, and a wordsmith at that. Like a jaguar, stalking its prey in the wilds of the Mayan. We gotta clean the glasses a little bit. We're sweating here. It's a little bit hot. Okay, that's not better. That's better. Okay, like a jaguar stalking its prey in the wilds of the Mayan Empire of ancient times, Michael walks backwards quietly, purposefully, as he thinks of new ideas and trains musculature otherwise not hit by normal walking. It takes an intellect not bound by normal convention to think this way, to decide to defy the day by day average way. This is why he can invent new processes and uses of tools. And so let's go what Scott just said. So I gotta tell you, you people think that walking backwards. Oh, I just banged that damn table and it didn't knock it out. Let me tell you something about walking backwards. Some schmuck about a year ago, some schmuck said to me, "You can't walk backwards for a mile." And I said, "Yeah, I could. It's not a problem. I could do it then. I could do it 10 years ago. I could do it 20 years ago. I could do it 30 years ago. I could do it 40 years ago. I could do it 50 years ago. But I could do it tomorrow, too." So, and that same schmuck said, that I couldn't walk 10 kilometers forward. Well, I mean, if you're a schmuck, you're a schmuck. Let's just face it. When you are schmuck, and you know, everybody knows what a schmuck is, right? It's like a schmuck, but it's got man juice on it. It's a schmuck. If you're a schmuck and you go around making challenges, and I put up a challenge saying I'll do it for $10,000, and the schmuck comes back. The schmuck is like a schmuck with man juice on it. In case you don't know what a schmuck is like a schmuck with man juice on it. If I put up a challenge, I will swim 3 kilometers or 4 kilometers with a mask and snorkel on. Then the schmuck, and you know what a schmuck is. A schmuck is a schmuck with man juice on it or in it. And I will swim those 3 or 4 kilometers with a mask and snorkel on. The schmuck comes back with a counter offer. No, you can't use a mask or a snorkel and no fins. Well, I never said I wanted to use fins. And then the schmuck says I have to hire a boat. I have to hire a boat to do this swim because I have a lot of money. Well, the challenge was I'll do it for $10,000. Then the schmuck, and you know what a schmuck is, right? A schmuck is a schmuck. A schmuck is a towel that you put around yourself, not like a little towel that you wear when you're with your friends doing shit you shouldn't be doing in a room, like 12 guys in a room with a little towel on them. That's a man juice towel. A schmuck is a schmuck with man juice on it or paint. You wear a schmuck when you do painting. But the schmuck comes back and says, no, you got to do it with, and somebody got to film it. You got to hire a banker boat for 4,000 pesos for the day. And then somebody got to film it nonstop with no breaks. And you got to do the whole swim without stopping, no backstroke. He's all of it making new rules. The schmuck, which is a schmuck is a schmuck with man juice in it. The schmuck makes these new rules that now I'm beholden to him. I would do all of that for $10,000. If I win, I get $10,000. Here's what a schmuck does. A schmuck takes the $10,000 challenge that I will swim 4 kilometers with a mask and snorkel, no fins. I never wanted fins. I don't swim with fins. Then the schmuck turns the challenge into 4 miles or 3 miles with no mask and no snorkel, and I got to rent a boat to prove it. So originally, I just wanted the schmuck to come here, and I would do the challenge with a couple of friends of mine in the boat, and at the end, when I'm done, I get your money, because I'm taking your money on that challenge. You're going to lose, I'm going to win, I'm going to take you $10,000. But the schmuck, and a schmuck is a schmuck with some man juice in it, the schmuck changes the bet. He goes, no, I'm not coming there. You have to rent the banker boat, put your girlfriend in the banker boat, film it nonstop, and we'll just make it a gentleman's bet. So I'm going to do all of this for nothing to prove myself to some schmuck. And everybody knows what a schmuck is, right? A schmuck is a schmuck with man juice in it. I'm going to do this for what? For free? I'm going to pay 5,000 pesos for the boat and foods for the men and all that shit, just as a gentleman's bet. When I put the challenge up to bet me $10,000, same thing with walking 10 kilometers. So I hear all these stories from the schmuck all the time. I hear stories from the schmuck, and the schmuck is a schmuck with man juice in it. I hear these stories from the schmuck that I can't walk backwards several kilometers. So I do it. And what happens? What does the schmuck do? Instead of saying, congratulations, accolades to Rabbi Drew Barker for walking backwards in the Philippines, no. The schmuck, which is a schmuck with man juice in it, the schmuck criticizes me and says I'm crazy for walking backwards in the hot sun. That's what a schmuck is. And besides being a schmuck with man juice in it, that's what a schmuck is. Don't take my word for it. You can look it up in Rabbi Jubaka Dictionary of Words, baby. I'll put it in there later. Don't worry about it. It's also going underneath the heading of Things I Know by Michael Fazio. Okay, that's what a schmuck does. A schmuck takes a challenge, a solid challenge, and then twists it around to his advantage, where now I have to work all day and pay 5,000 pesos and for nothing. But when I offered to do it for $10,000, give me $10,000, I'll walk 10 kilometers in the hottest time of the day. Oh, and also the schmuck changed the parameters of the walk. I said I'll walk 10 kilometers at the hottest time of the day. Now all of a sudden the schmuck, which is a schmuck with man juice in it, the schmuck changes it to where I'm not allowed to have water when I walk those 10 kilometers. Because the schmuck, which is a schmuck with man juice in it, wants to see me have a heart attack, which I probably could do it without that. But I wouldn't say that because it's reasonable to have a liter or so of water when you do a 10-kilometer walk. When you see marathons, which are 7Ks or 14Ks or 12, they give those guys water. So what? I'm supposed to be now in better shape than the Ironmen that go into the Ironman contest? I have to prove something beyond being an Ironman? No, that's because the schmuck sets parameters that were never involved with the original wager, and the schmuck wants to see you die of a heart attack by not having water and have heat stroke, because that's what a schmuck does. And if you don't know what a schmuck is a schmuck with man juice in it. And now, back to my regularly scheduled show. Yeah, baby. All right. The Philippines experience. Scott Del Fuego. Hello, Scott. Hope you're staying safe. Hey, Gary. Some nicks. Scott Del Fuego says some nicks. I won't even mention that part of Scott's reality. Some nicks. I like the way you said that. Some nicks. That's pretty classy, Scott. Did black grouper go to the front of the line before the other grouper? You mean the privileged black grouper? Yes. They have black groupers matter. And in fact, talking about black groupers, I happen to have right here in my possession a black pot, because not only do black groupers go to the front of the line and get privilege to go around to eat and defecate on everything in America. As a black grouper, you're entitled to go around and shit all over America. But black pots matter, baby. Black pots matter. They just don't matter that much to most people. But they are a privileged class. How many people have a black pot? Not everybody has a black pot at their disposal. Black groupers matter. Black pots matter. Not so much. Thank you very much. So now the next super chat. The next super chat, I say I'm going to put these two pots together, and I'm going to make beautiful Zen Buddhist meditation together with you. For you, another bounce. Okay, made it. Dean Koch. Dean, welcome. Dean, you and I go back a long way. Let's get together. Dean Koch. I wouldn't be opposed to that, Dean. That'd be nice. I bet we'd enjoy each other's company. Thanks. I hope you still have my email. Just send me an email. I just don't want any of those light switches. Okay. So come to the Philippines, Dean, and we'll have dinner together. Scott Del Fuego. Okay. Louis Pagan Ponce, the wordsmith is in the house, baby. That's right. Dean Koch, Davo came to mind. Do you know it? Yeah, go ahead, Dean. Go to Davo. Yeah, go ahead. You want to go to Davo? Go to Davo. Free world. You go anywhere you like. Scott Del Fuego, doing good. And Dean, let me tell you something about Davao City. While we're talking about the Philippines, I've only spent 10 days there, and if you gave me a free trip to Davao, I personally, in the 10 days I was there, I pretty much did whatever there is to do there. And I will tell you, there's a really good restaurant right on the corner of People's Park. I think it's called the Green Lantern. I think. I'm pretty sure it's the Green Lantern. But if you look at a map, you'll see it on the map. Now, that has the best buffet that I ever ate. Well, it was 150 pesos, $3. I think now it's 200 and change pesos. But when I went there back in 2015, 16, they had chunks of pork, 1.5-inch cubes of barbecued pork in this delicious sauce. So that's something you could go do there. And People's Park, that had all the beautiful statues of the pirates and stuff like that, that's gone. Now, if you are mentioning to go to Davao to meet a woman, that's probably possible. There's a lot of women in Davao to go meet. But there's nothing in Davao, the city of Davao proper, to do. There's nothing. The People's Park, you can walk down. Hotels are about 800, 900,000 pesos a night. Safe to walk around that night. You're not allowed to smoke cigarettes. If you smoke cigarettes, you're not allowed to smoke. Not allowed to jaywalk. Get a big ticket for jaywalking. And Davao is a beautiful, clean, friendly city, but there's not much to do there. And then when you go to the water outside Davao, the water's not even, it's just not the kind of water that I would want to experience on a regular basis. But when you get to the water, you have to stay at a resort and take a ferry sometimes, or not take a ferry. But there's no, like, you could never own a house in Davao or buy on the water. Or you could if you were rich, and you might be rich. I mean, you have this magical thinking that you might very well be rich. So go to Davao, go enjoy People's Park, go enjoy the Green Lantern, go pick yourself up a woman if that's what you want to do. If that's what turns you on, Dean, I'd head right there. I would get on the next plane to the Philippines. And Scott, Warren, Gary, Blue Lives Matter. That's right. And the Philippines experience as I fly Blue Lives Matter flag. And he probably does. I would believe Gary. I would believe anything that Gary says. And I would not, I got to tell you, while we're talking about Gary, I got to tell you what I believe about Gary is that I believe, without getting myself in trouble here, because I don't want to do that. I believe that if you pissed off Gary, he would let you know that he was pissed off. We'll leave it at that. I believe that. Sin Simo, Black Sheep Matter, the Philippines experience. Sin Simo Travels, LOL. Dean Koch, LOL. Nice to see you, host. Pinoy Ahoy. Pinoy Ahoy has a big channel. He does shout-outs. That's his thing. He gets the job done. As Chris and Cebu says, he gets the job done. You go to his channel, put your name up there, put your link up there, and Pinoy Ahoy takes the link and posts it on his shout-out. Shout-out, 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 shout-out. As the great Chi Corsaz says, shout-out, Pinoy Ahoy. Sin Simo Travel Blogs. Now, this is a blogger that I would I have to give some accolades to Sin Simo. I'm starting a scam fund on Bantayan Island to stop restaurants getting slammed with bad video reviews during the pandemic. Oh my God. That sounds like somebody was pissing off the locals. Let's read that again. Simo Travels says, I'm starting a scam fund on Bantayan Island to stop restaurants getting slammed with bad reviews during the pandemic. Whoa! I think that's a great idea. I think you'll make big money because I have heard stories, I have seen reviews about restaurants on islands in the Philippines that I said to myself, what the fuck? Are you serious? Are you serious? That not only do you make the review, that you put your extended family in the review, you talk about what you're going to do now, what you're going to do next, and what you want. Not only do you want to be compensated for a measly, insignificant amount of pesos, but you, as Warren Hunt said, you also want a pound of flesh. Unreasonable, to say the least. So, Simo, I was thinking about starting a fund to defund people from making scathing fucking reviews on YouTube about locals' restaurants. I was thinking about collecting money on how I could help the local restaurants survive the pandemic. I actually might do that. I might do some sort of a what I'm going to need to do the scam, a proper scam for the fund, is I need a white fedora. Now I've been looking for a white fedora for 2 weeks and no one has them, and no one has them, and no one is getting any stock from Manila. But as soon as I get a white fedora, I'm going to start a new series of short-term and long-term scams. Believe me when I tell you, I'm going back into the flim-flam scam business. And when Warren gets here, we're going to even do more things. And I'm not worried about the views on my videos now, because I'll tell you why. When Warren gets here, we're buying two Sea-Doo fishing jet skis. Those are the ones for, right now they're $40,000 each. So I said to Warren, not for nothing, but I mean that's pretty expensive, and I don't really feel like riding bitch. Why don't we get two cheaper ones? He goes, no. We'll just get the big Sea-Doos. We'll get two with all the fishing gear. It's up to you, baby. It's up to you. You be the boss on this one. You order. You make the order. And we will get 100 million views in a short period of time, touring all over the islands with pretty much be able to tour any island at any time on any given day, because these jet skis have a long range fuel. The range of the fuel for one tank of gas is 125 miles, but there's also a bracket that you can put another 50 miles worth of gas in the bracket, besides the ice chest and the fishing pole. So we'll have a 175-mile range, and we'll be able to tour. Theoretically, we could go to Palawan if we wanted. It's just a couple of days out. I've spent months on the ocean, traversing the ocean in the Great Lakes, the Erie Barge Canal, the Lake St. Clair, the Detroit Straits, the Lake Erie, Lake Michigan, Lake Huron. I've spent months out on the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, not the Pacific Ocean, but the Atlantic Ocean. It's pretty cool. But with a jet ski, we'd be able to travel anywhere in the Philippines that we want. So Warren wants to get not one but two big boy Sea-Doo jet skis. So let's give Warren a shout out for the, yeah, baby. Let's give Warren a little shout out for the big jet skis. I forgot why you had the diaper. Ah, yeah. I remember. Not one but two jet skis. As soon as Cebu opens up, not one but two jet skis. So Warren and I can do our thing. Salamat. And we'll give Warren an advance thank you. And we have Super Chat. Thank you, Philippines Experience, starting a fund for Digger One to get them nasty yellow teeth fixed. Nasty yellow teeth. Did you see Digger's teeth? Digger got something shoved into his mouth right now. He's got his little bippy. Now, let me tell you why I walk backwards. Okay, so I wanted to tell you in my last live stream, but let me tell you in this live stream, because let me tell you a little story. Okay, so let's say you're a wrestler, right? You're a wrestler, right? You were pretty good at it too, yeah? Okay, now the reason I do walking backwards, it has to do with being in the ring with somebody, wrestling them, right? So when I would wrestle somebody, I would have a tendency to slam them down into the ground. That was a thing I used to like to do. But when you're in the ring, the newfangled wrestling type of thing that you do, the reason I do the walking backwards is because in my mind, in my imaginary mind, I throw this motherfucker against the rope so fucking hard that he comes back with a slingshot fucking trajectory. And what I need to do is back up and move sideways so he doesn't pummel me after I throw the motherfucker into the rope so fucking hard that I am now actually causing a missile-like effect when I throw this fucker into the ropes, and then he bounces back out of the ropes like a broken fucking arrow. Why I do those backup things, so that when I'm running forward and I slam him into the ropes, I can back up and move to the side backwards. Gotta always plan ahead, because that kind of shit can happen on any given day. And as long as you stay in shape, you stay in shape, you stay in shape. So the idea is when you're fucking banging the motherfucker into the ropes like a rope-a-dope, when you're doing a rope-a-dope and the guy goes into the ropes on his way back out, when you got those backward steps going for you, you can back away sideways and you don't lose traction. That's the idea of keeping those muscles in shape. Plus, there's other reasons. Now, let's get back to the videotape here. The hamsters are in the house. Yeah, baby. Oh my God, this thing jumped down by itself. Holy shit stings. Oh my God. Oh God, there's holy macaronis. There's Super Chat. There's Gary. There's Simo. Michael encourages him to state local businesses. I gotta tell you, that was the strangest fucking blow. Okay, so here's what would happen if I did that with my local. If I did what that other fucking schmuck did, right? If I did what he did, here, I'll tell you what. Okay, there's a restaurant that I made many blogs about. And one blog was when I first moved to the Alona Beach area, there was a little private restaurant. It was like a house restaurant. and they had a meal that was 165 pesos. I remember this because I blogged about it. And it was 5 pieces of the most delicious chicken. Might have even been fresh, not frozen chickens. And French fries, and it had a table setting. And now this is going back to 2014. So food was delicious. I ate there a few times, and I had a few different meals, and I enjoyed every meal. But then in 2000 and I guess 15, I went back, and they gave me 3 pieces of chicken, 2, like a chicken wing, a back, and a leg. Used to get like 2 legs and 2 backs and a chicken wing. It was 5 pieces when, and they were overcooked. I mean, they were overcooked, and they were small pieces. They weren't like the normal sized chicken, and they had a freezer burn. But I didn't make a video with put the name of the restaurant, and I didn't do that. I said that I went to a restaurant and I was unhappy with the meal, but I didn't put the name of the restaurant in, because that kind of shit, even though that was 6 years ago, 5 years ago, that kind of shit don't go away, man. The locals don't go that fucking way. They have what is known as the crab mentality. You piss off the lowest man on the construction site, the guy that doesn't do nothing but put dirt in bags and move the dirt from one place to another. You piss that guy off, and the 25 people that you've known for 5 years, they're all going to be mad at you. I talked to you about this before. They are all going to be, the entire construction crew might stop talking to you, probably will stop talking to you, and the boss on the construction crew will tell you, please don't make any more videos, and please don't come back. Just piss off the lowest man on the totem pole in the Philippines, and they want you tarred and feathered, and the locals, the pub owners, the restaurant owners, the politicians, maybe even the mayor will want you to leave. Don't come back. You don't like it here? Just leave. That's what they'll do. And then if you go one step further and talk about how you can bribe the authorities, well, fuck me, man. Fuck me. Holy shit. If you could do that with bananas and cupcakes, fuck me. I didn't know you could bribe the authorities or the police with bananas and donuts. God, what the fuck am I missing here? So, since Simo says just the Philippines experience, no, brother, just repeating what the little MSN mainstream news. Yeah, did you fucking hear that video? Did you see those reviews? Holy guacamole, Batman! Holy shit! I was sitting there watching it live. When he said this is live, I'm going, ain't this? There's no fucking way this guy's gonna post this shit and leave it there. And yet, excuse me, it stayed there. It stayed there. I went back a couple of days later, it was still there. I mean, this is where they eat. This is where they have their meals. And he's talking about cockroaches the size of B-52s flying around in the restaurant. Really? And you leave that shit up and post it on YouTube? Really? Are you kidding me? You can't say shit like that about the local restaurants, but you did. But you did. Here, now I want you guys to picture something, all right? I want you to picture this. All right, so you're going to have to. Should I do it? I don't know if I should do it or not. I could do it. I was thinking about getting a B-52 over here. I got one. Cockroach. Okay. Just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. I'll get a cockroach over here the size of a B-52. I don't have a problem with that. Okay. I'm going to do it. You're not going to believe this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Okay. When the guy, he's making a, here, watch this. Watch this review I'm going to do. Watch this review. I'm going to be the guy, right? I'm going to be the guy. Okay, so I'm the guy talking about, Giuseppe Lorenzo's airplane, the B-52, right? So I'm talking about Giuseppe's airplane, and then I get off track a little bit, right? So now I'm talking about one of the local eateries, right? So I'm not happy if this isn't me talking. I'm playing in character, right? So I'm in character, and I had a bad meal, and the meal set me back almost what Gary sent me in Super Chat today. Okay, so right now I'm devastated. I have, not only am I devastated, but I'm on the third day about bitching about the $5 loss that I took, especially that I have been so good to these people. I spent another $5 in their restaurant, and they gave me bad service and bad food. So now 3 days I'm bitching, so I get views. I'm doing this for the views, right? Plus I'm doing this because I got this fucking magical thinking shit going on inside my head, and I can't comprehend what the fuck is really going on in real life, because I'm magically thinking. Right now I'm in character. I'm a magical fucking thinking guy, and I go, not only did the fucking hamburgers and the frankfurters suck, not only did and then they delivered them to my house, and they did all of this for $5. Not only that, but the toast that was burnt, and now I got to go back in time, and now because they sent me these fucking hamburgers with the burnt toast, I got to talk about when I stayed at the fucking hotel where the hamburgers came from, and they had cockroaches the size of B-52 bombers, baby. They had cockroaches the size of B-52 bombers flying around the bedroom at night. I couldn't even fucking sleep. The cockroaches were flying around like B-52 bombers, and I could hear them. And I got some thread, and I put it on a thread, and I made it fly around the room in a circle until it got tired and went to sleep so I could sleep, because the cockroaches in that hotel were so big. They were bigger than B-52 bombers. Yeah. And now I'm going to post that shit on YouTube. I'm going to post that shit on YouTube, and I'm going to leave it there. And tomorrow I'm going to do another review. I'm going to start doing restaurant reviews, because that's the kind of guy I am. That doesn't go over well with the locals, and that's why I was talking about Henry Frankenstein and Mary Shelley's novel, Frankenstein. They got pissed off at Frankenstein. They came after Frankenstein. They said, Frankenstein, we're after you. The local pub owners, the local restaurant owners, they said, Frankenstein, you were a bad Frankenstein. And that's why you don't talk about the local restaurants. And the beef and cockroach, really? Do you know how big a B-52 bomber is? They weigh like 40 tons. So then what you're saying is that in your room, there were 40-ton cockroaches? Really? Do you think that's just a little bit of an exaggeration? Do you think maybe that's a little exaggeration? I mean, I'm just throwing shit out here, seeing what sticks against the wall. Cockroaches the size of a B-52. Yeah. Whoa. flying around the bedroom. Really? And you think you're going to fucking earn brownie points? You'd be lucky if they let you stay on that island. And that's all I have to say about the giant cockroaches. Well, I might not be done. If maybe somebody wants me to talk about the giant cockroaches and they send me a little love, they say I'm sharing this video with so-and-so and sharing it over there and over there, and I get a few views, a few shekels, I might bring the B-52 size cockroaches back into the picture. But for now, let me read the comments. So, Sensimo says, the Philippines experience, no, brother, just repeated what the little MS mainstream news said, LOL. I was going to eat in restaurants in Battalion Island, but the review I read I will not even visit. Don't worry about that. I'm sure that you'll be perfectly okay. I heard from the review, Sensimo, I don't know for a fact, but I heard the MSN, the mainstream news on Battalion Island, they said you probably won't get salmonella poisoning from the food in the restaurant. So the probability is there that you won't die within 20 minutes of eating your first bite. Because salmonella, I got to tell you, I'm telling you the truth. There's a black guy I worked with. I used to, when there was a major renovation for a supermarket, I got the contract to haul out the compressors for the refrigerators and the meat boxes with the glass fronts on them and everything like that. And there was a black guy. Mr. Williams, I think his name was Mr. Williams. This is going back into 1977. So anyway, Mr. Williams, big black man. I'm talking, this guy was big. 6'7", 6'8", huge man. And he was a scrapper. He collected scrap metal. He'd scrap anything. He'd scrap out radiators, cast iron stoves. Anyway, Mr. Williams and I would take the boxes, and Mr. Williams would take any scrap, and I would give him all the scrap for free. And if I scrapped it, I'd put it in a pile. And if there was a lot of scrap, I'd let Mr. Williams come on my job because he didn't have a license. And I'd let him, and he could work under my license to scrap out the metal. And actually, so Mr. Williams and I became very good friends over the course of a few years when I was doing a lot of work in Brooklyn. And I went to Mr. Williams's house and had dinner with his family. And he had a wonderful family. There are a lot of people in his family. So when I went to Mr. Williams's house, when we were in one of the supermarkets I was scrapping out, probably around the time I went to Mr. Williams' house, is there was a can, and the can was expanded just a little bit. And part of the contract was I could keep any foods or saran wrap or tinfoil or anything in the supermarket that was getting raised. I could keep that. And then I would sell it or keep it or give it to my family. Mr. Williams said to me, you can't eat what's in that can. And I knew better anyway. And then when I went to Mr. Williams's house, he had told me why. He told me his daughter, he brought home a can of sardines from one of the jobs, not that I was on, but there was a can of sardines in another business that he scrapped out. And it was just a little expanded. And his daughter ate the sardines for dinner. And she was dead 20 minutes later. So, Sensimo Travel Blogs, that's how fast you can die of salmonella poisoning. And once I got food poisoning, and I'll tell you what, within 30 seconds of eating the bad peanut, one cashew, I almost died within half an hour. So that shit happens fast. So what I suggest, Sensimo, if you go in a Battalion and you're gonna have, I would suggest that you're not gonna get food poisoning. I because you heard it from the most reliable fucking news source in the Philippines. Channel of love, baby. The channel that is going to leave a legacy of love in the Philippines. You heard it, Sensimo. You probably won't get food poisoning. So I would just base the rest of my life on the news that you heard it here second. I said it second. He said it first. You could probably eat shit over there and not get well. Now, I've been eating in the Philippines for 6.5 years. I have never been sick once, ever. I've eaten street food times, 150 times, 200 times. If I'm hungry, I eat street food. I eat the restaurants, the little cheap restaurants for $2 you get lunch, $3 you get lunch. I eat the regular restaurant. I have never had a stomach ache. Never, not one time. So all this bullshit about bad food and cockroaches the size of beef, B-52 cockroach. Did someone say there was B-52 cockroaches in the Philippines, in the food, how could you say that shit? What is wrong with you? All right. Okay, so Philippines experiences. He says that shit all the time, but he deserves all that he gets. And it's not a victim like he claims. Is not a victim. I'm a fucking victim. I made these fucking audacious, I made these slanderous, I made these maligning videos about local restaurants. And I put my face, my heart, my soul, my family in these fucking videos, and then named the video, and then put the telephone number to the place I'm talking about, and then showed them the address of the place I'm talking about. And I had my family also talk about it. And I called them up on the fucking phone, and I texted them that I'm coming, and I want the fucking $5 back, I want my fucking pound of fucking flesh from these poor fucking restaurants that ain't making enough money. And I'm doing them a favor by telling them that their restaurant sucks and their food sucks. And I'm doing them a favor by telling them they got cockroaches the size of a B-52 bomber in their room. Because then, after they watch my fucking videos, they will straighten out their establishment. That's the only reason I mentioned the $5 loss that I took. That's the only fucking reason I mentioned the B-52 cockroaches. I just want to help them see their business grow over the next year. And let me tell you what that is. Watch this. That's bullshit. There you go. Gary, back to Gary. Okay. The Philippines experience. Since Simo travels, he has been a social media troll for over a decade and will continue to be so. And people continue to put pressure on this pelican. Oh, pelican. Where have I heard that word before? Pelican show the yellow toothless troll. I've heard that word, pelican, where I lived in the Florida Keys. Pelicans have skinny little legs. I've heard that word before. I trolled him so bad, I'm really blocked on every level. But I was just exposing him. Bro, Sensimo blogs. The Philippines experience, Sensimo. I've been blocked for him for years. Excuse me. Sensimo. He hates me, Sensimo. If he hates you, I love you. The enemy of my enemy is my friend, Sensimo Travel Blogs. Oh, Sensimo was a fence jumper, was he? Oh, my God. Warren H. was a fence jumper. Bruce Davis is a fence jumper. I was a fence jumper. That other guy, fucking asshole, the one that fucking blocked all the people on my channel when I gave him a wrench, that other asshole was a fence jumper. Warren is chiming in here, chumming in. Philippine, I'm sure you're well loved, says Warren. Sin Simo, the Philippines experience. You must be joking. And hated him all day from day one. Ha, 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 ha. Most people do. It's the fucking train wreck scenario. Now, the Philippines experience. Warren H. Hello, Warren H. The Hapsters. How are we, Mr. Fazio? We are sharing the love, Mrs. Hapster. Love. I am the love channel. I am going to leave a legacy of love. I said it first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. I remember somebody saying, I'm going to leave a legacy of love. And you know what that is? That's bullshit. And we are loving the Hapsters in the house, baby. Hapsters, Massimo. They know Warren. They know Pinoy. They know everybody because the Hapsters are a true channel of love, love, love. That's their motto. Love, love, love from Hawaii, baby. The best Hawaiian bloggers in the Philippines blogging community. Mrs. Hapster is Filipina. Mr. Hapster is American. And they reign out of Hawaii. And they have really good jobs. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, that's a really beautiful island, Gary. Yeah, and he's right about that island, Sinsimo. The Hapsters, Sinsimo Travels, they're real bloggers. No doubt about that. And Mrs. Hapster, I like the way she cooks and blogs, and Mrs. Hapster multitasks well. Let me tell you, she was a good she's a very smart woman. I'm not being facetious. She's a very smart lady. She multitasks and keeps track of everything that's going on. And she doesn't have any fucking trolls on the channel. I like that. No one goes to a channel to troll her. All right, so Gary says you have to go to the island of the city of Samai when in Davao. I heard about that island. A friend of mine went there. They loved it there. But it's you got to get there by ferry, and you could never live there. It's only hotels. So the Hapsters want to go see that island. Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I could tell you secondhand that somebody that I know went there and just loved it. Okay, so Gary, the Philippines, never underestimate the bamboo telegraph when in the Philippines. What Gary just said is don't piss off the fucking locals. Pissing off the locals is not the good thing to do. And when the fucking locals get together over some insignificant thing, let alone significant shit, they'll want to tar and feather your ass. You'll be lucky that you get to stay on the island. That's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. You, you, you. What the fuck were you thinking? What the fuck would anybody be thinking? Talking about not one, not two, not fucking one blog, not two blog, not one day, not two fucking days, but to fucking carry on for 3 or 4 fucking days about $5 worth of fucking food, and you call me fucking cheap? You fucked up again. You fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up when you threatened me and Warren, too. And you fucked up when you called me a felon. You fucked up again. You fuck up a lot, man. You fuck up more than any other fuck up I ever met, which is really fucked up. Fucked up. Fucked up. You fucked up. You'd be lucky they don't fucking come after you like they came after Henry Frankenstein's monster. Cheap at twice the price for those fucking jet skis, says Warren. We use the jet skis here in Hawaii for fishing. Yeah, they have a jet ski, Mr. Hobster or Mrs. Hobster. They're $40,000 for a jet ski. That's more money than I paid for my used Ocean Racer. And to be honest, I think I should have bought a jet ski instead of the Ocean Racer, because the Ocean Racer used $500 worth of gas a day. My lefty friend on Bantayan, my lefty friend on Bantayan said he stands by his review and will not take the video down. Now it's gone. All videos are gone. All notices, all those boys, balls, and all that big talk, the last man standing. Fucking history. Ancient fucking history. Sensimo, why do you think all that shit disappeared? That shit disappeared so the fucking townsfolk from Bolivia, the Bavarian Alps, that shit disappeared so the townsfolk from the Bavarian Alps coming after the Frankenstein monster couldn't fucking say, look at this, look at this, look at this. He said that, he said that, he said that. Look at this fucking guy, look at this fucking. And they have all the fucking townsfolk running after him with a bucket of fucking tar and feathers. Let's get that motherfucker. We'll get the motherfucker. We'll run him off the fucking Bavarian cliffs. Yeah, that's right. He's a very fucking well-known, unknown guy. Yes, Simo. Philippines, I wouldn't fly to Palawan. I went to Palawan. I went to Palawan twice, a beautiful island. All right, so here we are. Oh boy, where are we? Oh, we this thing jumped down. Yeah. Sensimo accusing me, not only accusing me, but multiple fucking times putting false statements in a fucking video format saying that multiple check fraud. No, it was one fucking check. Multiple check fraud, multiple felonies, running from the fucking law, fucking carrying a weapon with an expired fucking permit and getting arrested for it. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. You fucked up. You fucked up. On Thursday, you'll find out. Well, it might take a few months, but on Thursday, we're following through with that fucking video that's already been approved to be fucking regulated into the system. You fucked up. You fucked up calling me a fucking felon. There's a difference between being a felon and getting arrested for a fucking felony. You fucked up again. You fucked up again. You fucked up making those goddamn reviews about fucking local restaurants. You fucked up with every fucking thing you've ever done in your entire life, is the opinion of some people. And you fucked up calling me a felon. Again, you fucked up. But that's nothing. That is fucking nothing. The shit that's about to fucking legally fucking happen, that's something. You just fucking hang tight. Just fucking hang tight. Won't be long now. GAC. The GAC. The GAC. When you got the GAC, you got the GAC. You once you go GAC, you can't go back. That's my new saying. I just made that up. GAC lives matter. Let me find out if I can see where the fuck I am. Okay, I'm down here further. Okay. All right, I missed the review, but I heard about when from a dozen. Yeah, I know Warren. Warren missed the original review. Warren's been very fucking busy lately, I gotta tell you. He's been putting in 14-hour days. He's fucking working and working and working and working and working like a motherfucker. Warren is. He's working and working and working. He's working on a fucking project that's going to make fucking YouTube history. Pinoy Hoy says, Sinsimo Travels. Hello, hello. Sinsimo Travels. Scathing restaurant reviews can only get you in trouble in the Philippines. I won't say what that says, but it wasn't a good thing. Sinsimo knows. Yeah. We have the Philippines experience. Starting a fund for Digger One to get them nasty yellow teeth fixed. I read that. Thank you, Gary. Michael Fazio accusing you of a felony. Sinsimo. I got to tell you, I agree. And so do the authorities. Sinsimo says, Michael Fazio accusing you of being a felon is a lawsuit right there, all by itself. That's a separate fucking lawsuit. And the little spring onion arms will realize that soon. That's right. That's a separate fucking charge in the Philippines, accusing somebody of being a felon. I'm telling you, it's fucking separate. You could file it separate. Aside from everything else, that by itself is a separate felony. Sinsimo knows. Princess Anne, welcome to the machine, Princess Anne. Oh, and talking about a separate issue. Oh my God. From my lips to God's ears. Princess Anne, I hope you talk to your family. And we'll leave it at that. Princess Anne, I heard about your dad. I hope he's okay soon. Oh, I didn't know. I didn't hear about your dad. I was talking about something else. I'll drop that subject altogether. Princess Anne. Princess Anne's dad. Maybe, does your dad want to see me do a Rabbi Jew Barker? Would that cheer him up? Or a bang a pot for Mr. Princess Anne's dad? Tell him I'll send out a special Rabbi Jew Barker prayer. No, I'm serious. I'll give him energy. I'll give him a little banging at a pot. I'll send a little love with the pot. Love pot. I'll love pot. I'm sorry to hear about your dad, Princess. I know there's only just a few people in life that, that. Now, I don't know your dad, so I mean, I won't have the same feelings that you do. But there's only just a few people in life that you're ever going to care about. Maybe your mom and dad, maybe a favorite sister or brother, maybe a cousin, maybe a wife, definitely your children. But I don't know your dad, and probably since I started this conversation, several hundred people have died that I don't know. But I could bang a pot. Make them laugh at least, yeah? Okay. Princess, if you want to share what's going on there, you're welcome to do so. Zinsimo, the Philippines experience makes me laugh when he changes subject and says, hello, Gary. Yeah, that's funny. That's some weird shit he does. So Princess Anne is in the hospital with her dad now, or was a few minutes ago. Please let me know how he is, says Warren. Michael, encourage him to state some more local businesses. Yeah, I think you wanted to be fucking famous in the Philippines. Everybody fucking loves you, right? I'll show you a fucking video right now of 100 people greeting me, asking me, pleading with me to sit down next to them and eat my meal yesterday. Michael, sit down. Michael, sit down. Michael, come back, sit down. 100 fucking people. I'll show you 300 meals walking out the door because of some very generous people. I will fucking show you things about my friends that you couldn't even fucking comprehend. Yesterday, more people said hello to me yesterday between 11:45 and 1 o'clock than have ever talked to you in the Philippines. More people said hello. We're not talking about the people I talked to or the people I didn't talk to. More people said hello to me, sit down next to me, or eat with me, or eat over here. More, and if you see the way I'm greeted by the neighbors, the locals, and the extended families of people, more people said hello to me yesterday in 1 hour than have talked to you since you got to the Philippines. And not only that, we laughed the entire time. I don't know what makes it very simple to make these people laugh, but it's also simple to piss them off. And you have that ability. You're the fucking channel of love. You're going to leave a legacy of love on YouTube. Real fucking men don't fucking do scathing restaurant reviews of the local food eateries and facilities. Real men don't do that shit. Real men don't do that shit. All right, so we are. Oh, I am. Sensimo was on his way to Cebu and CDO. Okay, I missed that comment before. We were up to the Hobsters. LaRue Seagrass. Oh, I was cursing. I take all those curse words back, LaRue. I didn't know you were in the house. Welcome, LaRue Seagrass. And LaRue is a very religious person. All those curse words back, all the bad shit I said about that fucking asswipe making those bad restaurant reviews to local restaurants. I sucked that all back like in reverse, baby. LaRue, you didn't hear that. Hello, welcome to the machine, LaRue. Smashed your like already. Salamat, LaRue Seagrass. LaRue Seagrass, did you see the review where the guy was talking about cockroaches the size of B-52 bombers in the local restaurant that he eats at? Did you see that review? He said there's cockroaches the size of B-52 bombers in the hotel, in the restaurant where I eat. I don't like that. And keep you awake all fucking night flying around the room. Did you see that review, LaRue Seagrass? Did anybody see that fucking review where there's cockroaches the size of a B-52 bomber flying around the room at night, keeping me awake because the air conditioner sucks and the food sucks and there's not enough food on the plate and the other food sucks and it's too salty and the fucking cordon bleu sucks and the pizza sucks and all sucks, everything sucks, the food and the service sucks because they're too busy talking to the alcoholics at the bar. Did you see that fucking review, LaRue? And just delete all the curse words. Yeah, 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 B-52 bomber cockroaches. Oh my God, I can't fucking believe anybody would say that shit. I can't fucking believe it. But I saw it happen. I saw it live. I saw it staying on my fucking channel. I'm doing another fucking review on your restaurant. After bitching for 3 fucking days that he lost $5 fucking dollars, he did fucking 3 reviews. Scathing reviews. In the Philippines, baby. That's the wrong fucking place to do that shit. And now back to my commenters. LaRue Seagrass. Hello, dear friend. Scott Del Fuego. Good evening to you and to the people around here. Happy to see you. Thank you, LaRue Seagrass from Scott Del Fuego. Welcome, friend. The Philippines experience. Everybody loves the Philippines experience. Everybody loves Scott Del Fuego. Everybody loves Warren. Everybody loves Pinoy Hoy. Everybody loves the Hapsters, but not everybody loves me. And for you people, what I suggest you do is go and get a pot and bang it. See what happens. Not much. Nobody bangs a pot like the Fazio. Nobody bangs a pot. I bang the pot. I am the fucking originator of Bang a Pot, Make a Lot. And I am the originator of the little fella. Talking about the little fella. Let's get him over here. If we talk, we listen, right? If we're going to talk about the little fella, let's get the little fella over here. And let's talk about the little fella on the bottom of the top of the flat earth and what the little fella can do. Let's talk about the little fella here for just a moment. Little fella, if you don't like scathing restaurant reviews and fucking with the locals in the Philippines, show me a sign. Sign, sign, sign. Show me a sign, sign, sign. Show me a sign, sign, sign. And the little fella, he shows me a sign because he doesn't like scathing reviews in the Philippines. Who the fuck would be dumb enough to do a review talking about the eat in on a regular basis? Basically, I heard stories that you support these fucking places, and without you, they wouldn't exist. Oh my fucking God. Talk about magical thinking. What do you think, little fella? Show me a sign. I'll bang a pot. I bang a pot. I make a lot. I bang a pot. Showed me a sign, baby. The Digger 1, baby. And you know he's Digger 1 because he's got the anti-gravity boots. Here they are. Watch that. Oh, look at my shoes. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Oh, my God. I dropped the pot that makes a lot. Oh, wow. It's okay. That pot's been dropped many a time. Oh, we see Super Chat. We fucking developed Super Chat. Showing signs and wonders by the Faz. Signs and wonders. LaRue comes in, and we have signs and wonders from the Lord God himself. And talking about the Lord God himself. Talking about the Lord God himself. LaRue, welcome to Michael's live stream. Jesus loves you. And you love Jesus. And that's no joke. So LaRue is a very religious person. So let me give LaRue a shout out. She also has a channel that she blogs from. Now, if you're a Filipina or Filipino, LaRue is Filipina. And she can speak very good English, but she mostly speaks in her native language. She's very religious, and you want to meet another person in the Philippines, whether you're a man or a woman, that's religious and intelligent and articulate and attractive and very much understanding of the ways of the Lord God and his rules and statutes. LaRue Seagrass, I'm not kidding you, she's a very religious woman, and she has a firm belief in the Bible. So if you are a Bible follower, if you follow the laws and rules or statutes in the Bible and you wanted me to have a conversation on a channel in the Philippines about God, LaRue Seagrass is that person. And that's why Jesus stopped by to send LaRue some kisses. Jesus loves LaRue, and LaRue loves Jesus. Salamat. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, Rabbi. You're welcome, Rabbi Chewbacca. Okay, now let's get back to the comments and see who donated to the signage. Let's see. The Philippines experience. Oh my God. They're naming names. Hopefully there is a show about the fringes of reality soon. The reality. Reality is about to fucking happen. The Philippines experience, that's not mean when you address using that mean very respectful mention. Okay, I'm going to pass up a few of these comments. Roaches the size of B-52, says Warren, question mark. That's a big roach. That's right. You need a roach coach to get the roach to the hotel. Princess Anne is still here, and she's also at the hospital with her dad. So if you're LaRue, if you want to say a prayer for Princess Anne's dad, he's in the hospital with Princess Anne. I don't know if you knew that. Warren is being facetious. Roaches the size of a B-52. That's a big roach. He knows that those are big roaches. Those are 40-ton roaches, Warren. You know that. You know that. I don't know about. I don't know about that, Sensimo. I don't know about. Well, we might. Warren and I may end up with a piece of Bantallion Island. That's true. We were. You were here before when I said it, but I'll say it again. The offer for the land that was offered me 2 years ago on Bantallion Island to build a hotel, no charge for the rent, 2 lots out of 5 lots, still on the table. And all I have to do is build the hotel if I want. And it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Whatever I build, because there's 5 lots in a family that live in Cebu proper. None of them want to live on the island. So they would prefer that I built something there so they wouldn't have squatters on the property. That was one of the reasons. Okay, so we have the Philippines experience hitting me hard again with more super chat. Thank you. You can bet that's the truth. You can bet that's the truth. I had that in my notes. Anybody stupid enough to fucking talk shit about a local restaurant has to know, they have to know that when they went to that restaurant, no matter how nice the manager was, he went into the kitchen and prepared that meal special. I would say that if I did a fucking bad restaurant review, the last thing I would want to do is go there and eat. I wouldn't give a fuck if they offered me the whole fucking 9 yards free of charge. First of all, I wouldn't do a bad restaurant review. And second of all, I wouldn't embarrass myself by going back to a restaurant I gave a bad review to. I just wouldn't do that. I mean, not here in the Philippines. Shit. It's not like there's 300 waiters and staff members where you could slip through the cracks. I doubt that shit would be good. Real men sit in an air-conditioned room and see the beauty of the Philippines. That's right. You could sit in that air-conditioned room all day, and you could just look at the Philippines and know it's a beautiful place. That's right. That's right, Gary. We all need to vlog the up-and-coming events that are about to happen. Oh, we will be vlogging. Warren and I have something very, very special planned. I wouldn't doubt that, Sincimo. I don't think it's true, but like the Henry Frankenstein's monster, once the townsfolk decide to tar and feather you, there's not a lot of places you can go. And I think the tar is being fucking heated up, and I think the chickens are being plucked right now. I love street food. Eric Von Zipper. I eat street food all the time. I ain't even going to say that shit. I can't say it. I can't say it. I think it's true, Gary. I can't say it, though. I can't say it. Ah, Gary, that was funny. I would hate to think it's true, but there's a possibility. You cannot piss off the people in the Philippines, and you would regret that. You would fucking... I think the fucking tar and the feathers of the pot with the fucking tar, they're gathering... all the townsfolk are getting the fucking wood together for the big pot. I think. All right, Scott. Sincimo. All right, thank you for stopping by. My neighbors said thank you, LOL. Sincimo, thank you. Humping. See you when you get here. If you come to Bohol, I'd like to meet you. Thanks. Bye-bye. Thank you very much also. All right, delicious dish, poached roach. Whoa, the fastest fucking wordsmithing that I've ever seen. Delicious dish, poached roach. Poached roach. Whoa. No, I don't think that. I think that's just to prevent the locals from saying all those other fucking scathing reviews on everything and everybody, Sincimo. I think they're still there. I think he's just hiding. But don't worry, those videos, if he does come back and he puts those videos up, then there'll be just more ammunition to fucking to show that the channel of fucking love is a fucking oxymoron, baby. That's right. You know, Sincimo, I saw the same thing as you did. Not only did he want his fucking free meal, but he wanted his fucking pound of flesh and then never fucking thanked them in video format. I saw the same fucking thing. You want to talk about disrespect? That is fucking disrespectful. That is fucking disrespectful. That is fucking the most disrespectful fucking person I've ever seen in my entire fucking life. Dude, 1, 2, 3 fucking days for $5 fucking dollars. For $5 fucking dollars worth of food. I had to hear about that shit for 3 fucking days. 3 days. $5. And then I'm gonna send the fucking videos. He tells you straight up, I'm gonna be this fucking stupid, arrogant, audacious, fucking Jesus. I'm gonna send the review. I'm a YouTuber. I'm gonna post this shit in social media. What the fuck were you thinking about? The fuck were you thinking about? Oh my God. Yeah, he's in. Oh yeah, he's here now, baby. He's here now. Welcome to the fucking machine. And when they fucking tar and feather your fucking ass and chase you off that island, make a video of that. Would you do me a favor and make a video of that? Because talking shit about the locals on a small island resort like that can't possibly work out in your favor. Just can't do that. And that's why I had a fucking. You want to talk about fucking reality? Reality is talking shit to the locals in the Philippines with the crab mentality, with the tribe mentality. That is just fucking bad karma. Talk about bad karma. That shit is bad karma. Especially, and talking about bribing the police. Anybody could be bought off in the Philippines. And then talking about the corruption while you're doing a scathing fucking review, the political corruption. Jeez, that's fucking bad karma. And is it getting real yet? That's Warren wants to know. Is it getting real yet? Yeah. All right. So I can't read. I'll leave that out of there. That is I might get a strike for that. I mean, not a strike. I might get a YouTube might censor my video if I show that comment. LOL. Far be it from me to break in. I got 10 pages of show notes. Real men. We got to go back to the real men show notes. I might have to go into round 2 next Sunday for real men. Okay, so let's just read the first comment. Real men don't publish public reviews, including their unprovable and imaginary experience, including cockroaches the size of B-52s flying around in the bedrooms of said businesses, and then make it publicly known to the restaurant owners, locals, of at least several businesses of their salty shit food and small servings. Real men don't do that. That's my first comment of my first show note. There are 111 of these, but I don't think I'm going to do all of them. I think I'm going to end this live stream. And let me see how long I've been on. All right, so I've been on for 2 hours and 33 minutes. For 2 hours I think I'm going to go for another 11 minutes, 2 hours and 45 minutes. So you guys got to say whatever it is that you got to say in the next 11 minutes, because my voice is hanging in there. But I also have something else that I wish to do this afternoon. Okay, so you have exactly 11 minutes to say what you got to say. I'll read as many of these comments for my real men. Real men don't talk about the quality of bad food. They just eat it, suck it up, and move on to the next restaurant. However, real men talk about the quality of good food and the prices. But if you live in the Philippines, never talk shit about the locals. They just take it on the chin and get the hell out of there and just be happy that you got out of there. But don't talk shit about the locals. Real men don't do scathing restaurant reviews and blame it on other YouTubers. There were other people that made reviews on some of these restaurants. And Yet one particular fucking so-called fucking blogger said that he agreed with other people that made videos or reviews. So partially he blamed. What do you need people to back your shit up for? You either like the food or you don't like the food. You like the food, you eat there again. You don't like the food, you don't go back. And who's this fucking Williams guy that I see posting shit everywhere? Thank you for removing that guy. Okay, he was starting to become Bordenson. Never witnessed such a. Yep, he's a disgrace to the United States. Worship our Creator, says LaRue Seagrass. I pray every day. I pray, but I don't pray to. What I pray to. I pray to what I believe is God, and it works for me. So if I think that anybody could pray to any in a beneficial, look at the energy that God gave me today. Besides those 3 cups of coffee I had before I started the show, but look at the energy that God gave me today. I'm alert. I'm well mannered, well spirited, high spirited, sharp, crisp. My mind is crisp, and I'm right on point since the fucking beginning. If I'm not, somebody correct me, because I gotta tell you, the shit I've never seen a fucking person cry over $5 fucking in my entire life. Like 3 fucking days, you ought to destroy. You must have posted fucking 18 fucking videos in that 3-day period, crying for fucking 18 fucking different videos. The fucking dogs, they got fleas, the fucking restaurant got dogs. And if I owned this restaurant, you own that fucking restaurant, you wouldn't do a fucking thing. I would just pick up all that fucking seaweed, you fucking lying bastard. What you see in any video of seaweed in front of a fucking restaurant on any given day is a ton, 2,000 to 4,000 pounds of fucking seaweed if there's not even much on the beach. And you would go out and pick it up every fucking day. You can't even cut your own fucking grass. Fucking lying bastard. I would fucking clean. You wouldn't clean up shit. You know how much they had to buy a motorized tractor with a 4-cylinder diesel engine on it to pick up the debris on the lee side of the island from not storm material. They pick up between 1 and 5 tons a day of grass that washes onto the beach. Forget about the plastic and rope and the little bit of stuff like that. Somewhere between 1 and 5 tons of seaweed grass when it's wet, because you can't just pick up the grass. Some sand's got to come up with it. And then they take that grass with a rake and they rake it up into 1,000 little piles every fucking day. Every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, there's people out there raking. And every tide, they rake in between each. And all day, somebody's out there raking the beach. And they get between 1 and 5 tons a day. So when I hear this bullshit that I would fucking clean up, you wouldn't clean up shit. You wouldn't clean up fucking shit. You can't even put your own fucking shoes on. And you're going to go out and pick up fucking 5 tons of tree debris or weed debris. Fucking the illusion, the imaginary fucking shit that goes on inside your head is just fucking amazing. I would go out and clean it up. If I had a place, you had a fucking place to put it, you'd fucking cry that it was too far away. If you had a place to put it, you'd cry that, well, nobody's fucking helping me. The only thing you could do is fucking nothing. Nothing. You're fucking good at doing nothing. You're good at running your fucking mouth is what you're good at. Eric Von Zipper. Well, yeah, we're under quarantine. you can go to any of the stores locally, except there's a market. You can only go on certain days, and they check. It's one market. It's pretty far, but but to go into the city, you have a pass. Every 2 months, the pass changes. 1 month, you can go into the city on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Saturday and Sunday, and the next month you can go Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and Saturday. I think it is. Yeah, we're still on lockdown. I like to kick the trash. I like to kick the plastic bottles close to the trash bin, but not bend over and pick it up. That's the way I roll. I roll the same way, Gary. I'm like you. I want to just kick the fucking can, so to speak. Did I hear to kick the can? Kick the can with my fucking pelican legs. Kicking the fucking can. Gotta tell you. So we have 4 more minutes, and I'm gonna lock this up. Thank you very much, Gary, and thank you, LaRue. Thank you, Eric Von Zipper. Thank you, Sinsimo. Thank you, Scott Del Fuego. Thank you, Warren Hunt. Thank you, the Philippines Experience. Thank you, Princess Anne. Thank you, Mr. Willis, for coming back as a Patreon member. Thank you, Louis Pagan-Ponce. Thank you. I think I covered everybody, actually. Yeah, I think I did. Warren H., of course. Warren H., thank you. Scott Del Fuego, I did mention Scott Del Fuego. I think I covered everybody except that troll right towards the end. And we'll give him a little shout out as well. William Jenkins. I don't know if you were trolling me or serious. Shout out to William Jenkins. Thanks for stopping by. And we have 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. Okay, Eric Von Zipper, 2 relatives tested positive, then 3 days after tested negative twice each. Well, okay. I don't do the virus thing much, Eric Von Zipper, but personally, I do understand it's a 0.0003% chance of dying from the virus. And I do understand that 94% of all people that are dying from what is basically a cold or the flu are in aged nursing homes or have 2.4 other comorbidity circumstances in their life, such as diabetes and overweight, heart condition and diabetes, the oncoming of lung cancer and diabetes, pneumonia and diabetes. So only 0.003% are dying from this bullshit that they say is surrounded the world. And then at that, 94% of those people are over the age of 70 years old. That's the truth. All right, Scott Del Fuego. The Philippines Experience. Prefer to walk down Bantayan Beach and moan, but not even pick up a single bit of rubbish with my sparrow arms and pelican legs. Thank you to the orange one with the toxic trolls and restaurant bashing. Try to continue and bash Pinoy businesses. Yeah, baby. That shit ain't going to work out good. I think the first tester was looking for a tip because they don't get it. Steve 2509. Thank you. Steve always stops in right at the end. He's always watching. Thank you, Steve 2509. Sinsimo Blogs, we're counting down. We have 30 seconds and I'm ending the show. The Philippines Experience. I'm 65. I think I'm too pretty good. Yep. My opinion. Money hungry. And I plan, Scott Del Fuego, the pandemics is an exercise in mind control. And we'll leave it at that. That's exactly what it is. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. Trump? No, not Trump 2020, Gary. Trump. Dump Trump in 2024, baby. Trump 2020, dump Trump in 2024. He's our only chance. And it's not much of a chance at that. Trump 2020, dump Trump in 2024. That's the only way out for the next 4 years. Thank you very much. MAGA, baby, MAGA. MAGA. There is a LaRue Seagrass. I forgot your name. Sorry, LaRue. Oh, no, I did say your name. Trump is the Bullocks. Sunshine Travels. Sensimo Travels. That's right. All right, I got to end this because actually I have a luncheon appointment, and okay, so I will tell you what it's for. Okay, it's a very private. What time is it? Okay, it's 1 o'clock now. A very private ceremony. On the hour that a friend of mine died 1 year ago, on that hour, a priest is going to come to a house, and about, I don't know how many women and people that have the prayers, they have them on a card. The card isn't much really bigger than this, about this size card. And it's called Vespers. Now, some of my friends saw the Vespers that I put up last week because that was the day of the big party. That was the day of the big party. But on the hour that the man died, on that day, on the 1 year anniversary, there's going to be a special prayer ceremony. And I may or may not videotape it. They wouldn't let me videotape it last year. They wouldn't let, they don't want to. They believe that if you videotape the prayer ceremony, it sucks the spirit. I made a video at the cemetery, but not. I could have made a lot more video. They just don't like that, so I have to respect their wishes. But on 1 year, and only only the immediate family and very closest friends will be at that ceremony this afternoon, and I still have to shower and shave. So, and it's not for a few hours, but I still have to get ready, and I have to put away the B-52, the bomber. Now, did you know that there's a restaurant somewhere in the Philippines that some guy was blogging about having cockroaches the size of a B-52 and then posted that shit on social media? Did you know that? Did you know that? I'll tell you what, I'll do another show on this next week. I'll do an update on B-52 cockroaches, and I'll see if I can find some of the biggest cockroaches to post on YouTube. And let's say we'll give a shout out to the digger who's digging holes that he probably will never be able to get out of. That's why we call them black holes, baby. Black pots matter, black holes matter. Digger, digging holes I can never get out of. I'm your digger this year. Yes, I am. Digger. I'm a digger. I dig them holes so deep, they have to grab me by my feet. I'm a digger. Digger. I dig holes so deep, they have to get me out by grabbing my feet. I'm a digger. I'm a digger, baby. I'm a digger. And to all those law enforcement agencies out there that I just put you through this 3 hours of bullshit, I apologize. I'm Bing Permy. I'll see you guys on the flip side. I will be seeing you guys later. Let's see who else is here. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Warren. Talk to you soon. LaRue Seagrass, thanks, friend. Philippines Experience. Scott, good night, Digger One, and everyone. Scott, always with the compliments for the guests, special guest stars. Eric Von Zipper gave me a thumbs up. Simo, screw the lefties. That's right, baby. Trump's got the bullocks. Take care, Scott, and be safe. I'll leave it. We went over about 3 minutes, but that's okay, because as Warren says, 2 thumbs up, baby. 2 thumbs up. Your time is coming, baby. I'm Bing Permy from Michael Fazio in the Philippines. Baby, Digger, come on over here, say goodbye. Oh. Now you know why we have the diaper. Remember why we have the diaper? We have the diaper. Let me tell you why we have the diaper. I forgot to tell you why we have the diaper. This is important. The diaper is here in case Digger looks at me. In case Digger looks at me and I piss in my pants from the look in Digger's eyes. Oh! Oh! And Digger will hand me a diaper in case I piss in my pants from the fear that I will fucking emote from looking into Digger's eyes. I will be in fear, and Digger will have a diaper near to give me when I'm in fear. Because when I'm in fear, I heard stories about how I'll piss my fucking pants. But what we forgot to mention is that fucking challenge has already been taken. And the fucking guy backed down in front of 25 witnesses. Digger. So put your fucking diaper back in the diaper bag. We won't be using that today. I'm Bing Permy from Michael Fazio in the Philippines, baby. Now they got no Patrick Barker. They can't. There's no way Biden could beat Trump. There's just no way. I don't care. Write an election, not write an election. Fucking, there's no way that Biden could be. Who would vote for that guy? He's a freaking he's fucking nut job, not normal like me. Yeah, I know. Voted for it. I guess anything is possible. They tried that. Okay. Yeah, I agree, BJ, but I can't put that up on my channel. All right. Thank you very much. I'm Bing Permy from Michael Fazio in the Philippines, baby. And remember, as Warren Hunt is about to fucking do that fucking Warren Hunt dance in Australia, 2 thumbs up, baby. That shit is fucking happening. Bye-bye for now.